True. He knows it's playing at me something differently. Oh shit, I have it on the wrong thing. Singing tournament. Alright, I fixed this one though now. There we are. Alright, let's go, lads. Alright, only a few seconds. Well, it's just 28 seconds and we get into it. I wonder what this trailer is going to be, like, what it's going to be mainly about. Obviously, presentation trailer. I feel like it's just a mix of, you know, the gameplay trailer and obviously the first trailer. But it will actually be of, you know, it'll be like the first gameplay trailer that wasn't actual gameplay. Or no, the first trailer that wasn't gameplay. But obviously it tried to make the game look cool, it tried to make the game look fun. And this time it will be the actual gameplay, but a similar kind of thing. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm looking forward to it. Mature 17 plus. I'm a boxer doing the voiceover. Here's John Jones as model. Presentation deep dive. Oh, Clay Guida versus Paddy Pimblett. Paddy Pimblett has a shit trim, at least. That's the Andrade getting flying in by Shevchenko. Ankalaev. Jan Blachowicz has his new model. Sean O'Malley. Paddy Pimblett submitting Clay Guida. Clay Guida beat up Paddy Pimblett in real life. Let's not get it wrong.
Of EA Sports UFC 5. Let's take a look at the features that creates UFC 5's new presentation, including the Frostbite engine, visual effects, new in-game cinematics,
fighter-like likeness, or cinematic KO replay, authentic finishes.
My name is I'm a Boxer, a part of the design council for UFC 5 and an EA Sports UFC content creator. I was able to interview EA's art director of UFC 5, to explain the new presentation and how it will impact the user experience.
I would say the first thing you're going to see that's going to be impactful and players are going to feel is our walkout. We have new dynamic lighting.
Walkouts and that, so walkouts are going to look better.
Lighting and rendering. And
but walkouts are only in like career mode and stuff. Usman's model looks really good though. You can see that he has his beard now. And obviously he has his kind of own little unique walkout. I wish they had them in online, you know, for title fights and stuff like that. Is Islam gonna walk in the cage and do his usual?
Amazing with all of our new lighting and rendering technology.
I like it. Yeah, obviously he's talking about a lot like technology and all sorts, and the game does visually like look a lot better as far as graphics. But the only problem being, in my opinion, is the game just be a little bit bright unless you turn down the contrast and stuff like that. Oh shit, Alexa Grasso getting flatlined. Damn. Having Shevchenko flatline the champ just because she's the
Yeah,
cover
and I
star,
love how you said
even
as a
though she
whole, because
lost.
again, all the team
I know
work
the
together.
second fight was a draw, but
Audio
still.
team, lighting, rendering, art team, presentation. And
Oh, there's
camera
Sean's
team.
model for the first time
So
we've
all
actually
work
seen it
together to
properly.
try to create
We
really
did get a
cool
glimpse at it, obviously.
experiences.
Usman's model, he has a different body compared to UFC 4 and obviously 3, if you did not notice.
Frostbite introduces a new
And
fluid physics
obviously he has a
particle
different
system.
face and that,
How
like,
will this
but
enhance the user's
sometimes
gameplay
they've
experience?
updated a model, like
with
Hamzat's model
Frostbite,
is
we get
updated,
our
but his
new
body stayed the same.
particle system. It's called the emitter graph, and that'll
Emitter graph,
that's a
well, that's the GPU.
VFX system, allowing us to render individual particles of blood and sweat. What's really neat too.
Yeah, the
is
cuts do
the
look pretty
blood
visually
will
pleasing,
land
you know.
onto the mat, and you're actually going to see the build.
And all the, you know,
the
blood
goes
splattering
up
onto the
over
ground on the
So we
canvas.
couldn't have done that previously, and you're going to see just beautiful.
I wonder,
particles with blood and sweat
you know,
across the game.
because
And
like
it's
I'm
all
pretty sure
dynamic and builds up,
in UFC
based on your damage or
4 and 3, like in between rounds, the blood would kind of like disappear, and it'd all be in like the exact same pattern, really.
Captured the blood and the sweat from the fighters at the location where the damage actually occurred. So by the end of the fight, you can have a completely different mat from when you started, telling a story about what happened during that fight.
Yeah, that's
and it adds to
interesting.
that
Obviously, a
gameplay
lot more
experience.
like blood to the mat and that.
that boxer. That's so awesome to hear that you felt that way, because that was actually our intent. And we actually
Yuri's
talked
model
about
as well.
the
He's
story
still
on that,
bulky as
you know,
fuck.
based on
But they've done his ponytail some justice at least. Let's go with Ash. The main man, Ash.
It builds up both on the
Absolute
player,
goat.
but also on the map.
Yeah, and
There's
nice them like
story
fucking
there, and that
splashes
also
of
gets
blood.
backed
Actually,
up
pretty cool to be
by
fair.
commentary and audio as well. So it's really a holistic experience that is, you know, very powerful, and it's
Not very powerful.
I think it's gonna make us as developers feel really good that you felt that when you played.
Okay, players always talk about the importance of making strikes feel more realistic and impactful
No,
when they
so.
land. How does the Frostbite
That
engine
Pereira
in
looks
UFC
cool as
5
fuck.
help
I didn't get
address
to see
this
who he was
concern?
KO'ing there. I just
So
missed
again,
that.
this was really
Is
a
that
holistic
Hale, or was it
approach to the
like-
game. We all work together to try to make impact as
I was just
well
seeing
for
somebody up
also
against the
for
cage getting
players.
uppercut.
So the first thing is animation. With animation, we worked all of our striking animations, as well as within Frostbite, we have our physics and procedural animation, which just an animation itself makes it feel more powerful. But then we also reworked
Who's this?
our
Oh,
facial
Dan Hooker and
recognition
Dustin
system,
Poirier.
which again makes it feel better when you impact.
Oh, Kevin Holland.
Another
Oh,
player,
poor
another
Holland getting
also,
absolutely
again,
blasted.
We talked about our visual effects, so you get that upon impact. And then our
Gaethje
audio,
getting slept.
which, we added
What was
new
that?
audio with, you know, more
Gaethje
quenching effects
sleeping
and that
Dustin.
sort of thing to really make the whole
Oh, there's
system,
Dricus Duplessis.
more
Obviously, we didn't
powerful
get to see
and
him in the
impactful.
beta.
And I think when you play, you really feel it again with all of our blood and particles all summing up into just a great
Advanced fighter
powerful
likeness.
experience for impact.
In how they fight, or like how they just look.
In UFC 4,
The Leon
he
model
has
I
a
really like,
great
to be fair.
character model. But in UFC 5, it takes it to a completely new level. How has the Frostbite engine improved fighter likeness in UFC 5?
So that is something we put a huge amount of effort into. Again, obviously the fighters of UFC are the center of the game.
Yeah, I hope
We
so
made
too.
some
We're gonna get.
amazing
Damn.
improvements. Like if you
Why
were
does
to
Alex
compare
Caceres have the
UFC
best
4
model?
models to UFC 5 models, it's strikingly improved and better. So one of the big things that we did is brought in a new strand-based hair system, and what you'll see in terms of the player movement is how the hair is lit so much more.
Whaley's
realistic.
short hair model is really
Moves
good,
so
to be
much
fair.
more realistic while you're playing, and it made a huge difference. Also, if you look at lighting, and
Whaley
rendering,
has
you're
one of the
also
best
seeing
models, I
the
think.
reverb shader that affects skin and how sweat and blood rolls across the skin. We put
Here's
a huge
Charles.
amount of effort into the
I like
skin
Charles has a little bit
fibers
of a small
to
beard now.
make it feel more realistic
Pereira.
and believable.
Sean's model is
Finally,
sick, man.
less about frostbite, but more again about the attention and care that
I feel like he doesn't look as
these
bulky.
fighters, is we work the geometry and the texture.
Any models we haven't seen? Nah, they're all old models. Fiziev looks the same. Rosenstrike and Blades look the same, I think. I'll pause that another time and go through it a little bit more.
In UFC 4 and previous UFC games, is we have a technology called Shapeshifter, which
Still
allows
same
us to
toy to
modify
Vasimil.
the bodies to again try to be closer to the real likeness of fighters.
BDest of voice.
Altogether,
I need to go look at that.
Just
I was mostly interested to see new models in this, but we've not seen too many.
Amazing likenesses for UFC 5, and I hope our players are gonna love it. I think they will.
New in-game cinematics.
When we talk about new in-game cinematics for UFC 5, can you highlight some of the notable improvements since UFC 4?
With the walkouts, you're actually going to see 3 new things that make our walkouts more authentic than ever in UFC 5. So the first thing is our face rig system. So we have a new facial animation system that allows us to have more detail and subtle human animation, which you'll see throughout the walkout. The second thing is frostbite cameras. So we are using frostbite cameras that have a more realistic camera lens, and along with new cameras themselves and new editing, putting that all together into a really powerful experience. The third thing that I think, again, you're going to see is the dynamic lighting and all the...
I love Leon's model and his walkout.
...the walkout. So again, that goes back to the player likeness and the skin and how light moves across the skin. And finally, I guess the whole choreography of the whole experience with the dynamic lights. So we're turning lights off and on, and all true to the authentic experience of the UFC walkout. I love them. I'm super proud of what we accomplished for those walkouts for UFC 5.
The new cinematic replay system in UFC 5 really stands out. I know the content creators are going to enjoy making some amazing thumbnails from the replay system. Can you talk about what has improved about the cinematic replay system since UFC 4?
Yeah, so I have to say I love our cinematic knockout replays. I think it turned out to be kind of the perfect blend between cinematic cameras and procedural dynamic cameras. So we couldn't have done it without frostbite. So we're using dynamic frostbite cameras that will dynamically compose depending on the action. Furthermore, that we have in UFC 5 that we didn't have in UFC 4 is we actually have knowledge of the action in the replay. So we know whether it's a right fist or a left fist, whether it's a right kick or a left kick, and
getting head kicked.
And due to that, we're able to place the cameras to be the most compelling and the most dramatic. Add to that, we put a lot of work into our slow motion replay in terms of getting our strikes and animation.
Sean O'Malley spinning heel kicking.
Slow motion.
Poor Vera.
Our simulation with just hair and clothing, we updated that. And then finally, again, our blood and sweat particles, along with a few kind of really cool.
There's the Hamza as well, yeah. Getting
overhanded
overhanded to oblivion.
Knockout replay moment.
Champ shorts being exclusive to champ once again. I don't like that, to be fair, yeah. I'd rather.
Can you talk about some of the ways a fight can end differently in UFC 5 than it could in UFC 4?
So one of the ways I think is like super exciting, emotionally compelling is Dr.
Appreciate that. You know it was
So
broke.
again, that
You know
ties
that.
into our damage system.
Adesanya, the broken noses look really cool, or the busted up noses in this game.
Regions for cuts, swelling, and bruising, and we have 5 levels of progression for that. I think one of our rendering engineers came up with the math, and we have about 64,000 possible combinations that you could run into. So as you are damaging your opponent, at some point the damage level will get to a place where the doctor will come in and stop the fight.
Brandon Royval.
And in that
Same model as UFC 4, but to be fair, he was a late addition into the game. It's not like he's had the same model since UFC 3 or 2 with some of these fellas.
That we can focus the camera on for the damage and
Pretty sure TJ's had the model since same model since UFC 2. Has a stupid mohawk on top of his head.
We'll analyze how much damage you have taken, and then the doctor will decide, hey, let's continue the fight, or we'll stop the fight.
Doctor stoppages are more than presentations.
Doctor stoppages and all
They are
that.
now a part of the strategy. You can be behind in a fight, but your opponent could be severely damaged in a specific area which you can target. So even when behind, you still can create a direct path to victory.
Yeah, and I mean, it looks great, but I think what's also cool is, like you kind of alluded to, is there's a new level of strategy that we didn't used to have from a gameplay perspective. So again, visuals and gameplay working together.
Reminds me of UFC 3. What's your
Powerful
opinion?
experience.
I mean, if it's like a UFC 3, I won't complain. It looks cool though, graphically, especially, just considering that's what really all this is about. The graphics and how the game looks and appears. So, it looks and appears pretty cool. That RDA on his, getting slammed on his head. I would have liked to see RDA's model again, because from what I seen, that looked really good. There we go. Alright, that is it. No more.
Another situation where it's
Right, there we go, boys. If you that was the presentation stream, trailer stream. If you've liked it, like, it'd be appreciated. And if you haven't already subscribed, it'd be much recommended to do so. Appreciate yourself for watching once again. Yeah, peace out, boys. I did, yeah. It looked a bit strange, to be fair, and I don't really